Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel called Your Money. Let's discuss why Chinese economy is so strong. The economy of the People's Republic of China is a developing market-oriented economy that incorporates economic planning through industrial policies and strategic five-year plans. Dominated by state-owned enterprises and mixed-ownership enterprises, the economy also consists of a large domestic private sector and openness to foreign businesses in a system described as a socialist market economy. The Chinese economy receives a lot of interest in the media, but it can be difficult to keep track of the basic facts. In this video, we are going to discuss an overview of China's economy in the context of its global economic rise. When President Monroe, the fifth US president, looked beyond the United States in the 1820s, he saw a vastly different world than the one we see today. The Greeks had just begun to revolt against the Ottoman Empire. Brazil declared independence from Portugal, and the world's first modern railway opened in England, where the first industrial revolution was already underway. Meanwhile, China, where the Qing dynasty approached its third century of imperial rule, held the largest share of global GDP. 200 years later, global economic leaders and tech experts gather in China against the backdrop of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. China is now the world's second largest economy, and the largest if measured in PPP terms, having fallen behind from the late 19th century onward as several industrial revolutions compounded in the Western world. But China began an unprecedented economic catch-up in 1978. China lifted more people out of poverty than any other country. At the outset of the reforms in 1978, China was poor. It had a GDP per capita level similar to Zambia, lower than half of the Asian average, and lower than two-thirds of the African average. China experienced an average GDP growth of close to 10% per year until 2014, raising per capita GDP almost 49-fold, from 155 current US dollars, 1978, to 7,590 US dollars in 2014, lifting 800 million people out of poverty, an unparalleled achievement. How was this achieved? China became the world's manufacturing hub, specializing in the labor-intensive, export-led production of cheap goods that enabled a gradual increase in product complexity. In a nutshell, its growth strategy was to assemble and sell cheap goods to the world. The private sector is the main driver of growth and employment. Between 2010 and 2012, private sector firms produced between two-thirds and three-quarters of China's GDP. It also accounts for 90% of China's exports. As the below chart shows, the tertiary sector now makes up the majority of GDP. Financial services account for more than 80% of economic profit. The tertiary sector is also the largest source of employment, 36.1%, compared to 33% in agriculture and 30.3% in industry, according to the National Bureau of Statistics of China. China is developing middle-class consumers. This growth in services is reflected in a growth in wealth and disposable household income. Chinese consumers are spending more on lifestyle services and experiences, while also moving from mass to premium segments. What is more, happiness and a balanced life are increasingly prized as the Chinese middle class moves up the income ladder. Saving is still comparatively important to consumers. China is the world's largest exporter and the second largest importer of merchandise goods. China has a substantive bearing on global economic performance. Since 2010, it's been the world's largest exporter and second largest importer of merchandise goods, as well as the fifth largest exporter and third largest importer of commercial services. The below figure visualizes China's trade with countries across the world. China is the second largest provider and the top receiver of foreign direct investment, FDI. As the below charts show, China is among the largest providers and receivers of foreign direct investment, FDI. Last year alone, FDI outflows from China jumped by 15% from the previous year and reached 116 billion US dollars. The US, by comparison, had a total outflow of $337 billion in FDI, a 3% rise. China also has the world's largest foreign exchange reserves of $3.21 trillion. Furthermore, between 2005 and 2016, China's total global investment and construction activities amounted to a value of about $1.2 trillion. As the pie chart shows, the largest part of this share went to Asia, followed by Sub-Saharan Africa, Europe, and North America. A big part of this investment comes in the form of development finance. Beijing's ascent on the African investment landscape has been frequently documented, and its intention to revamp the Silk Road, One Belt One Road, is cause for hope to spark inclusive growth and development across Central Asia. In Latin America, it has outstripped the loans given by the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank combined. It may then not come as a surprise that China has doubled the available financial capital for development finance globally over the past decade and accounts for more such loans than the world's 6 major multilateral institutions combined. China has a clear path forward. By 2030, China is expected to be the world's largest economy once again. As the overview shows, obstacles await, such as facilitating domestic consumption and lower savings, reducing debt levels, reforming the SOE sector, and realizing a balanced and healthy rise in prosperity with growing living standards for all. Yet the country is on its way to reclaiming its position as the world's largest economy amid the fourth, not the first, industrial revolution. Hope the video was informative. Please hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Last but not least, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.